Hello and welcome everyone. Today, we take you into the ruthless world of business and finance by diving into the story of Anil Ambani, a tale that stands out as a true Hollywood thriller. Once at the helm of a diversified empire spanning sectors from telecommunications to energy, Anil Ambani embodied the perfect archetype of success and wealth. But behind the staggering numbers and resounding triumphs lay a bitter reality, paved with risky decisions and colossal debts. This video traces the fascinating journey of Anil Ambani, from his peak as one of the richest men in the world to a catastrophic fall that captured the public's imagination. How could he lose his immense fortune? Join us in analyzing this captivating story, a narrative of ambition, risk, and unexpected repercussions. But before that, here is a portrait of our protagonist. In the glittering shadow of Bombay, a star destined to shine with rare intensity was born, named Anil Ambani. Born on June 4, 1959, into a family that would become one of the most influential in India, Anil was not just a child of fortune. He was the bearer of a legacy, that of the Ambanis, a dynasty that would redefine the contours of Indian entrepreneurship. The beloved son of Dhirubhai Ambani, an industry titan who built the Reliance Industries empire from almost nothing, Anil grew up in an environment where business was the mother tongue. They had business in their blood. His mother, Kokalaban Ambani, was the rock on which the family's balance was founded, instilling in her children the values of unity, determination, and hard work. Anil, the younger of two brothers, shared a deep bond with his elder, Mukesh, in their youth. Together, they explored the corridors of their father's budding empire, learning the intricacies of trade not just through words but through the living examples set by their father. Moreover, on this note, we have another video that this time discusses the dazzling career of Mukesh Ambani, which we strongly encourage you to watch after this one. You will see how lives are predestined to be different even when people come from the same cradle and have received the same education. Now, let's get back to our story. You can imagine that Anil Ambani's education was not only limited to lessons in family entrepreneurship. He attended the Cathedral and John Connon School, one of Bombay's most prestigious institutions, where he developed a passion for running, an interest that would remain embedded in him throughout his life, symbolizing his constant quest for self-improvement. Then, he continued his studies at the University of Bombay, and later at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, one of the best business schools in the world, where he acquired an in-depth knowledge of financial and management principles that would guide his career. Up to that point, everything was predestining him to shine, like his brother. His childhood, steeped in a blend of Indian tradition and global aspirations, forged a man with deep and vast ambitions like the ocean, ready to boldly embrace risk and innovation. This period of his life was marked by a balance between robust family heritage and an insatiable hunger to establish his own mark in the world, a prelude to his meteoric rise in business and beyond. Reflecting on it, Anil Ambani's path to fortune reads like a movie script, where ambition, strategy, and a hint of fate play leading roles. The Anil Ambani saga truly began after his return from the United States, where he honed his business acumen at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, preparing to join, unsurprisingly, the Reliance empire founded by his patriarch. Anil joined Reliance Industries in the 1980s, bringing with him a modern vision and strategic approach to business that complemented Dhirubhai's innate entrepreneurial instincts. Under the latter's mentorship, Anil quickly climbed the ranks, taking on key roles in the management and expansion of the company. His ability to navigate the complex landscape of Indian business was crucial for the success and growth of Reliance. But life spares no one, and in 2002, upon the death of his father, who, by the way, left no clear will assigning the empire's leadership to any specific person, Anil's fate took a dramatic turn. A chaotic succession feud with his brother Mukesh inevitably led to the division of the Reliance Empire in 2005, under the mediation of their mother, Kokalaban. Anil thus inherited the activities in the telecommunications, energy, natural resources, and financial services sectors, marking the beginning of the Reliance Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group, known by the acronym ADAG. As for Mukesh, you'll find out in the video about him. From then on, Anil embraced his new independence with entrepreneurial zeal. He significantly diversified and expanded ADAG's activities, venturing into new areas such as infrastructure, entertainment, and defense. His strategy was based primarily on rapid growth, often supported by significant debt to finance expansions and acquisitions. We told you earlier, Anil had a taste for risk. And he was right. as this approach was rewarded with initial successes, propelling Anil into the list of the world's richest men. Yes, it didn't take long. One of Anil Ambani's boldest bets was in the telecommunications sector with Reliance Communications. Capitalizing on liberalization and the explosion of demand in India, RCom became a major player, competing with the biggest names in the market. The company innovated with enticing and reasonable offerings and cutting-edge technology, attracting millions of subscribers. Here's the flip side of the coin. Anil Ambani's highly leveraged approach to financing expansion also made the ADAG group very fragile and vulnerable. Regulatory challenges, fierce competition, notably from his brothers Jio, and rapid market changes began to weigh heavily on the finances of the ADAG group, something Anil could not foresee. The following years naturally saw a significant erosion of his fortune, highlighting the intrinsic volatility of an aggressive growth strategy that initially bore fruit, allowing him to quickly expand his empire, undeniable. This brings us to discuss some figures. Let's pause for a moment on the fortune he amassed at one point in his life. To remind you of what we said earlier, in the years following the split of the Reliance empire in 2005, Anil Ambani inherited a diversified conglomerate encompassing sectors as varied as telecommunications, energy, and infrastructure. His rapid rise in the rankings of the world's richest people was not only the result of his inheritance but also his boldness in investing and diversifying. At its peak, Anil Ambani's net worth reflected his ability to navigate evolving markets and capitalize on emerging business opportunities in India and abroad. Anil Ambani saw his fortune reach dizzying heights soon after the empire's division. At that time, his net worth was estimated at several $billion, ranking him among the world's richest men. Forbes even placed Anil Ambani with a personal fortune estimated at about $42 billion in 2008, positioning him as one of the 10 richest people on the planet. Can you imagine? Now, onto the most interesting part. Here's how Anil Ambani's dizzying success turned into a vertiginous downfall. Because going from $42 billion to almost nothing must have incurred the wrath of the Lord. Here are the beginnings of the fall. Contrary to what one might think, it didn't happen overnight. It was the result of a series of financial and strategic setbacks over several years. He should have seen it coming from afar. The first stumbling block was the massive debt accumulated by the ADAG group. Logical. To finance rapid and diversified expansion, the group became heavily indebted, betting on eventual future growth to repay its debts. However, various factors, including increased competition, unfortunate investment choices, and regulatory changes, began to nibble away at the profitability and viability of several key group companies. Bad luck, but the final blow was attributed to the telecom wars. Indeed, a crucial turning point in Anil Ambani's financial deterioration was the entry of Reliance Jio in 2016, led by his brother Mukesh Ambani. With its aggressive offers and vast investment in 4G technology, Jio disrupted the telecommunications market in India, leading to a devastating price war for profit margins. Reliance Communications, once the flagship of Anil Ambani's telecom empire, was particularly affected, amassing huge losses and consequently being unable to manage its debt. Of course, Anil Ambani refused to lay down the weapons and fought as well as he could. Faced with increasing financial pressure, Anil Ambani undertook various strategies to reduce his group's debt, including selling assets on the stock market and seeking debt restructurings. Despite these efforts, challenges piled up, leading to several lawsuits, defaults, and forced asset sales. These events not only undermined Anil Ambani's reputation but also spectacularly engulfed his personal fortune, thus removing him from the billionaire list he had occupied for years. There are several lessons to be learned from this dramatic fall, as it is very rich in teachings. It reminds us that in the business world, fortune is as volatile and ephemeral as the market winds. Anil Ambani's story highlights the importance of prudent risk management, thoughtful diversification, and the need for constant adaptation to technological advancements and market dynamics. In other words, one should never charge straight into a wall at full speed while playing the ostrich and without calculating the undertaken risks. Sometimes, it's necessary to remain reasonable and keep a clear mind. This story also illustrates the potential impact of family rivalries on large businesses, showing how internal quarrels can sometimes reverberate through entire empires. In short, Anil Ambani's fall is not just the story of the loss of material wealth, it's also a captivating chapter on humility, adversity, and the relentless quest for recovery in the face of the most disheartening challenges. On that note, now that the video is over, I invite you to click here to see the staggering career of his older brother, Mukesh Ambani, who, for his part, did things differently. But before you go, tell us in the comments what you think of this astonishing career and especially what you think of its dramatic end. Tell us what you would have done in his place to avoid this crushing fall and if you would have made the same choices as him, as an entrepreneur.